He said Australia has, quote, better health care, end quote.
You have better health care than we do.
Thank you, Mr. President. We'll quote you on the floor of the Senate.
It is to our great gentleman and my friend from Australia, because you have better health care than we do.
They have. President, every given day there is another adventure out there, but a couple of months ago, the president met with the Australian Prime Minister. President Trump said during that meeting, he said, Australia has, quote, better health care, end quote.
We have a failing health care. I shouldn't say this to our great gentleman and my friend from Australia, because you have better health care than we do.
That's what Donald Trump said.
Maybe when we get to the Senate, we should start off with looking at the Australian healthcare system.
So my Republican friends here who support President Trump, listen to what he said, because on this one instance, he's not right very often. But I will confess that on this issue, he is right. In Australia, everyone is guaranteed health care as a right. Australia has a universal health care program called, ironically, Medicare, that provides all Australians with affordable, accessible, and high-quality health care. While the United States has the most expensive, bureaucratic, wasteful, and ineffective health care system in the world, Australia, it turns out, has one of the most efficient. President Trump was right. In 2014, Australia's healthcare system ranked 6th out of 55 countries in efficiency. The United States ranked 44th. Not only does Australia guarantee universal health coverage, it spends less than half what we spend on healthcare per capita. In 2015, they spent $4,500, while we spend almost $10,000. While the Australian government spent 9% of its GDP on healthcare, the United States spent nearly double that, 17%. Many healthcare services are far cheaper in Australia. An MRI costs about $350 in Australia versus $1,100 in the United States. One day in a hospital costs about $1,300 in Australia versus $4,300 in the United States. Not only does Australia guarantee universal health care, spend less on health care per capita, and pay less than we do for many health services, they have better health outcomes. In 2014, the average life expectancy in Australia was 82.4 years compared to 78.8 years in the United States. They live longer in Australia. For context, according to a 2014 report from the World Health Organization, Australian men have the 3rd longest life expectancy, and Australian women have the 7th longest life expectancy in the world. The United States doesn't even crack the top 10 for life expectancy, despite spending so much more than any other country on health care.
You have better health care than we do.
Well, Mr. President, you're right.